Good evening, Guardians, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Short Pause Presents Tower Talk. I'm Ben. That's Brent on the other side of the microphone there. We're here on behalf of Short Pause. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at the Short Pause. Tower Talk is our Destiny-focused video discussion series where Brent and I hop on here and we talk any and everything in the world of Destiny. So if you like what we do here, make sure you leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so you always know when we go live. First and foremost, a couple things we want to touch on the top here. Apologize for not being able to have a show last week. I was out of town and we weren't able to get a show recorded. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, so we'll touch on a lot of that stuff today and get you guys caught up on everything that's been going on in the world of Destiny. Also, I know that there's been a lot of spoilers and leaks and things that have come out regarding Destiny 2 Forsaken over the last week, and we will not be touching on any of that stuff on the show here, so don't worry about getting spoilers. Any of that stuff will be spoiler free. I myself have avoided that stuff, haven't read any of it, trying to keep as much fresh as I can, keep as much there so that we can discover it when we actually get in there and play the game. So with that out of the way, Brent, how are you doing this fine evening, sir?
Dude, we're starting to feel the toll of grinding away at the moments of triumphs. I mean, we've had it's been going on for close to a month. We're down to the last week. We're down to the last 5 days, and I'm starting to feel it, dude. I'm starting to feel the burn. I'm starting to feel the effect of staying up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just grinding stuff out. But here we are, dude. We're 5 days away. Hopefully after this, we'll hop on, do a couple more heroic strikes. We'll get you closer to 50. I should be able to finish up that one, and I'll just have one moment of triumph to complete. So I'll have between now and Tuesday morning to knock it out. But it's been a blast, dude. This is what Destiny is to me. It's grinding and being on late and doing stuff with friends and working towards rewards that not a lot of people can get. And I've got my t-shirt from Moments of Triumph. I've got my armor set, my Solstice armor at legendary status. I've got 3 of them masterworked. I mean, I've made a pretty good run here. Iron Banner we finished up. I got the max level there. It's just been a very busy last couple of weeks, but this is what I want from Destiny, man. This is what I need.
Yeah, super busy, man, as Destiny always seems to be winding down the end of a year, and you've always got Moments of Triumph to look forward to. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. Been playing, grinding the game every single night as much as I can. I couldn't even survive last night. I passed out like just early on. So I do need some rest, but man, I still got a lot to do. Still got a lot I want to accomplish by Tuesday before Moments of Triumph for the Solstice of Heroes ends. But man, it's been a hell of a time. It's been a lot of fun getting in here, grinding away, earning rewards, knocking out objectives, just everything that I always love about Moments of Triumph. It's once again going to come down to the final moments, and once again probably will have something to do with the raid once we get towards the end of it here. So we will see if we can knock out the final things we have to do, but I'm pretty confident in it. I have a path. I can see the path between now and Tuesday that I need to do in order to complete everything. It's gonna I still have a lot to do, but it can be done. I just gotta buckle up my bootstraps and get down to business.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, even though you've got a lot to do, I know you and we're gonna team up. We're gonna get Frankie in there. We're gonna do our best we can these last couple of days to kind of get everybody as close as humanly possible to either the maxed out armor or to get their Moments of Triumph as close to 400 as possible. So it's gonna be a group effort, and I talk about that, and that's. Dude, this has been one of the better things about Destiny 2 so far this year is not only grinding with you guys, but, we talked about last week, like, hey, look, we've only got a week left to do the raid. I went rogue on Thursday or on Tuesday, and I went through and I found I used the LFG thing in the Destiny 2 companion app, and there was a bunch of raids listed. I was like, you know what? Hey, I'll jump in and see if any of these guys need help or we could form up. And I got to experience one of those things that I haven't experienced a lot in a long time in Destiny, because normally I'm playing with you guys. But the fact that I was able to jump in there with a bunch of randoms and knock out the raid. That's one of the things that I missed about Destiny is just the community, how everyone comes together during the moments of triumph. Everyone's trying to achieve things. They're trying to beat things. And just being able to jump into a group of randoms, we all added each other afterwards. It was just everyone knew their role, and everyone knew that, it's difficult sometimes when you jump into other games and you try to just play with randoms. You got jerks and stuff like that. You just jumped in here. Nobody knew each other. I mean, there was all five. Nobody knew anybody, and we just worked together and knocked it out. And I was just like, this is this is the thing I love about Destiny. It's one of those things that, and I haven't experienced that in a long time. And I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, man, it's one of the things I talk about all the time with the first Destiny, with the kind of finishing the Oryx raid at the 0 hour.
Yes.
with a group of randoms. Bender and I were up till 4 or 5 in the morning that night trying to complete the Oryx raid on hard, and it wasn't until we just randomly joined up with a group of 4 other random people we had never met before in our life. It wasn't until we joined up with this group that we were able to beat the Oryx raid on hard on our very first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Which it was just wild. And it was, it's 4 in the morning at this point. And then even after that, and this is something that I don't often talk about, but even after that, once we finished that raid, I still had a few things I had to do in order to get the last couple calcified fragments that I needed. And I needed to get them from that raid, completing the challenges. And those guys all stuck around and helped me get the last few calcified fragments I needed as well. We actually went back into the raid after that and knocked out the last couple challenges that I needed. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So stuff like that is awesome, man. It's one of the really cool things about the Destiny community. And sure, you have your jack-offs in this community as well, just like you do it with all of them. But
oh, yeah.
By and large, you don't have to look too far to find a solid group of people usually when you're looking to play Destiny with some solid dudes or girls. So yeah, I hear you 100% on that, man. That said, Brent, though, let us get down to business. We have a lot to discuss. Like I said, we missed last week, so we've got some catching up to do. The first thing I want to discuss with you is a big issue that cropped up last week. And this is the controversy surrounding Redrix's Claymore.
Yep.
Just to set the stage here. So this is Bungie laid this out last week on what's going on with Redrix's Claymore. So Redrix's Claymore is of course being retired in Season 4. So as we heard, this was a Season 3 Crucible pinnacle weapon. This was something you had to really grind for. And they put up those stats a few weeks back, Brent.
I remember that. 6,000 people had it or something like that.
Yeah, it was either 6 or 8,000, whatever the number was. It was a very small percentage of people were able to earn Redrix's Claymore this season.
Yep.
Now, I think that was the goal with Bungie, to make this a highly sought after weapon that everybody wanted to get their hands on, but maybe not everybody had the talent to achieve. So I think that was probably the goal here, but I don't think they expected it to be that low.
Right.
So, they wanted this not to be something that every single person had, but they didn't want it to be something that nobody had. So that's kind of what we're at with Redrix's Claymore. If you take into account the millions upon millions of people that own Destiny 2 or that play Destiny 2, and only 8,000 of them own Redrix's Claymore, I'm sure that number's gone up at this point as people try to grind it away at the end of the season here. But that was probably a little bit alarming for them, and that's kind of what led to this. So Redrix will not be around in Season 4 in this form. Players who already earn the weapon will still be able to equip and use it. Players will be unable to earn Redrix's Claymore beyond Season 3. So just so we're clear on that. However, in its place, Shaxx will offer a new quest that players can complete to earn Redrix's Broadsword, a companion weapon to Redrix's Claymore. The Broadsword actually features a similar talent arrangement, but does not share the lore and triumphs associated with Redrix's Claymore. So, Redrix's Broadsword will drop with the Outlaw Desperado combination. It will drop with that every time it drops. So that's the thing that makes Redrix's Claymore stand out. That will be available on Redrix's Broadsword. When they talk about the lore and the triumphs, it's like, all right, if you see somebody that has a Redrix's Claymore, you know that they're a hell of a Crucible player, and they grinded their ass off in Season 3 to get that gun because that was a tough gun to achieve. So they have that little feather in their cap. Even more so if they were able to obtain the ornament associated with it.
Right.
Because, man, you gotta be a boss to get that thing. So here's where the controversy comes in. So once you've earned the weapon, random roll versions of Redrix's Broadsword will start dropping from Crucible engrams. Each drop, like I mentioned, will have the fixed Outlaw plus Desperado combination. Each drop will also have randomized barrels, magazines, and masterwork perks. Players who've earned Redrix's Claymore in Season 3 will receive additional bonuses. Owners of Redrix's Claymore will be granted an exclusive emblem when redeeming the corresponding triumph. Claymore owners will be eligible for drops of Redrix's broadsword from Crucible engrams, even without completing the corresponding quest. So, Brent, so here's the deal now. Redrix's broadsword will be available in Season 4. It will contain the same talent pool or talent arrangement that Redrix's Claymore had, but even more so because it's now going to have random rolls associated with it. It will have randomized barrels and randomized magazine perks associated with it as well. So at the end of the day, when all is said and done, and with the new mod system that's going to be available in Destiny 2 Forsaken, Redrix's broadsword is going to be a better gun than Redrix's Claymore when it's all said and done. And there's no two ways about it. It's going to have more perks on it. It's going to have more options. It's going to be the same gun, but essentially better. But it just doesn't have the glamour associated with it that the Claymore did. So let me get your thoughts on this, man. So just to be clear to you, the broadsword will be achievable via a quest. And I'll talk about what that quest is in just a second here. But I want to get your thoughts on this whole controversy real quick. What do you think about what they're doing with the Claymore and what they're doing with the broadsword here?
You know, at first I want to sit there and say that's it's a good idea because it allows people to experience the Desperado Outlaw combination of perks because it's, all intents and purposes, it's a fun-ass gun to use. You know, that's really, really cool. But at the same time, I'm the person that's like, you know, I love the fact that when I go into Iron Banner with power level matters, if I've grinded my ass off and I'm up higher above everybody, that's kind of like, you know, a sign that, yes, I've earned that. I've earned that title. I've earned that right to be more powerful. And that part of me says that kind of sucks because these people, the 8,000 people, the like 2% of the community that actually has this gun, they work their asses off for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they'll still have the gun. They can still show people, I have the Redrix's Claymore. And that should be worth something because it is. You'll have a gun that only 6%, 2% of the community has, and that's pretty cool in and of itself. But the fact that the Redrix's Claymore with the new mod system and the perks and all that is going to be a better gun, that is just kind of like that. That's the part that's kind of disappointing because the Redrix's Claymore should still be a viable option. Should be a very, very good gun, but not only is it, you know, is it not as unique now because of everyone else being able to get the broadsword, but it's not going to be as effective as the broadsword. So that's just kind of a disappointing thing. I'm of two minds of it. You know, I like the fact that, you know, they're allowing people to experience this combination, the Desperado and the Outlaw, and have fun with it. But at the same time, it is disappointing for those that went out and earned it. I don't even have it, and I feel bad for the people that do have it because that does kind of take away a little bit from their accomplishments, from the efforts that they put in to attain that gun.
Yeah, I'm extremely torn on this, man. Like you said, I'm basically in the same boat as you. So on the one hand, I love the idea of a pinnacle crucible weapon that takes a certain amount of skill, a certain amount of just determination in order to get out there and achieve. I love the idea of there being this like weapon that everybody's lusting after, that they want to go into the crucible and try and get their hands on, and not everybody's going to be able to get it. And it's like it's a crowning achievement of the season for you if you're able to get this weapon. Like, I love that idea. It's a great idea, and it really inspires you to get in there and grind on the crucible. On the other hand, not many people have this gun. The perk layout is a ton of fun, and you know, I wonder if there's some thoughts about balance in the crucible or whatever. If there's not a lot of this gun going around, and there might be a certain elite group of people that come out on the other end of this. Maybe when something like Trials returns, maybe that becomes an issue because you gotta think that people who own Redrix's Claymore are more than likely Trials players. Like, they're the elite of the elite Destiny Crucible players. So maybe that factors in a little bit. They didn't talk about that, but I have to think that that's a little bit on their minds. Right. But yeah, it's like on the other side of the coin, not many people have this gun and don't get to experience it. And like, I want this gun. Right. Like, I want to have my hands on this gun. So you better believe that when Season 4 comes out, I'm probably going to do the broadsword quest. Like, I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not going to be like, well, you know, I don't want to get this gun because I wasn't good enough to get it in Season 3. Like, nah, I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna try and get the broadsword as well. So I'm super torn on it because I love the idea of the crucible, of the pinnacle crucible weapon, and people not being able to achieve it and it being this really like sought after weapon. But I also love the idea of more people being able to get their hands on it. And you know, maybe this changes with your thoughts too, Brent, because here's the actual quest for the broadsword. So this is not going to be something that is just handed out to people. Like
Right.
you're still gonna have to work for this
And
thing.
you get a Claymore, and you get a Claymore.
Yeah, so it's not going to be that. There are still going to be many people that will not have their hands on a Redrix's broadsword. So here's the quest. Step 1, in the Crucible, defeat 200 opponents with pulse rifle final blows. Not too bad, just take some time.
Mm-hmm.
Step 2, reach Valor rank heroic, which is what, the 3rd rank, 2nd rank.
It's the first one's what, Guardian.
Yeah,
Brave,
so you got the
heroic.
0 level.
Yeah, I think it's the 3rd one.
So yeah. Step 3, in the Crucible, earn 75 double plays. So I believe those are double kills.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's going to take a little bit of time. Step 4, in the Crucible, defeat 150 opponents with precision final blows from any pulse rifle. Step 5, in the Crucible, defeat 50 opponents each with arc, solar, and void final blows. Step 6, complete 25 Crucible matches in quick play, competitive, and rumble. Step 7, complete 20 Crucible bounties. Step 8, reset your Valor rank 5 times in a single season. And Step 9, visit Lord Shaxx to claim your reward, Redrix's broadsword. So 9 steps, and I'm going to guess that these steps don't overlap, so when you get to the step that's like complete 20 Crucible bounties, I would assume they're not going to take into account the 20 Crucible bounties you've already completed.
No way.
It's probably something you're going to have to do again. So this is a lengthy quest. This is going to take time. This is not going to be something that you knock out in one night or even a week, maybe even in a month. It's going to take you some time to get this stuff knocked out. So, Brent, does that change your thoughts on the broadsword at all, or make you feel any differently towards that gun in Season 4?
Dude, I actually didn't know all those specifics until just now. And, the fact is that we've got the Destiny 2 Forsaken dropping. Everyone's going to be playing through the story. Everyone's going to be going through all that stuff and still find time to knock out all of those. Dude, that's going to take – you're not joking. There's no way that's getting done in a week by anybody. That's a huge list of demands to attain that gun, and I actually like that. I think that's cool because it gives some credibility to the people that went out and earned Redrix's Claymore, because they're not going to be just like, hey, like you said, here, you get one and you get one. You're going to have to go earn it. And while it might not be as difficult as when dealing with glory that's going up and down and whatnot, this is going to consume time, much like it took the people that earned it. It took them a lot of time to battle the ups and downs of glory to attain that. So maybe it's not as difficult as that, but this is going to be it's going to take some willpower to get through it. It's going to take something where you're going to have to be committed to it, and it's going to take you a long time. And I actually think that's kind of a cool resolve for it.
Yeah, I mean, just think about reset your Valor rank 5 times within a single season. We just reset our Valor rank 1 time, and we're at the end of Season 3 here. So you think about over the course of Season 4, over the course of a 3-month period of time, you have to reset your Valor rank 5 times. And the only reason we were able to reset our Valor rank is because we hopped into triple XP weekends. So I don't know how many of those are going to be floating around.
But keep in mind, though, I mean, just this last Iron Banner was the first time Valor counted towards that stuff. So when Iron Banner's out there and people and all these other modes, you're going to earn Valor a lot more. You're going to earn Valor quicker, and you'll be able to, resetting is going to be a lot easier in year 2 as opposed to year 1, because Valor is tied into everything now.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's the case. This is just more of like a global example that we can go off of. Clearly, it will be much easier to earn Valor in Season 4, but still quite the grind to reset it.
Oh yeah, 5 times. That's gonna be lengthy.
So my question is this, Brent, like what is the ideal outcome to this situation? Like, is this broadsword quest, is this the best thing that Bungie could have done with this gun in Season 4? Is there another thing that they could have done that would have been better, that would have pleased everybody in the community? I mean, they can't make everybody happy. There's plenty of people that are on board with this and what they're doing, and there's plenty of people that are upset by it. So it's kind of 50-50 in terms of the community split over this decision. So Bungie's kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. It seems like when it comes to this gun, there's no way that they could have pleased everybody. But in your opinion, is this the best possible route they could have taken? Like, is this the ideal solution?
Before I answer that, just on a quick shout out to Fear the Beard. He's in the chat, and he actually said,
What's up, Beard?
Pick, I agree. This week I was able to reset my Valor twice for the Ghost. only because of the 2 times and triple XP boost that was going on these last couple of weeks. So, yeah, man, that triple XP was clutch. That actually came in. That was huge on Monday because you and I were trying to knock out. We were trying to reset or get Valor all the way up so we could get the. Was it the moment or was it the? What were we doing that for?
Yeah, it was a moment of triumph, I think, to reset your Valor.
Reset. Yeah,
It was for the solstice armor.
Solstice
for the
armor.
masterwork.
There you go. Yeah, that's how tired I am, period. I can't even remember. But but to answer your question, I don't know if this is the best route to go. I mean, I'm sure they looked at a lot of different options, but the plus side is here for the people who have Redrix's Claymore, and that's the only spot you can get Outlaw and Desperado. Here's the plus side for them, dude. They're going to still have one of the best weapons in multiplayer going into year 2. They're going to have it at launch. They're still going to have Redrix's Claymore. They're still going to be the elite of the elite. And as they're playing through it, and everyone's these people are the same people who are grinding all the time, so they're going to be playing Crucible a lot. And as they're in there owning people over and over and over with it, by the time everyone else gets a broadsword, they're going to get their broadsword. So, I mean, these guys, I mean, I know it's disappointing, and I can understand why they're upset. I really do. But for the time being, they're still going to own with the Redrix's Claymore. It's still going to be the premier weapon for quite some time until the most grindy of grindy people are in there earning the broadsword. But for the time being, the Claymore people are still going to enjoy ruling the Crucible. Because they still are the only people that had the Desperado Outlaw perk. And it's going to take a long time before everyone starts showing up with the broadsword, and they'll also have it by that time as well.
Yeah, and they're also, like you mentioned, they're also the first people that are going to get Redrix's broadsword. So they will be earning broadsword from Crucible packages right from the get-go.
Yep.
So they're going to have access to the new perk layouts, to all that stuff with broadsword before anybody else does. They're also going to have an exclusive emblem associated with them for owning the Claymore in Season 3, and at the end of the day, Brent, a lot of the stuff that we grind for in these like ultimate pinnacle activities we do, it's to get an emblem in Destiny 2 to display to other people to show them what we've done.
Yeah.
Like that's the reward at the end of the Moments of Triumph.
Yep.
When you complete Moments of Triumph and you get your 400 points, you get a special emblem that you're gonna have that nobody else has. It's one of the things I always displayed in Destiny 1. My Moments of Triumph emblem was always up there. So I wanted people to know, look, I beat Moments of Triumph. I mean, you were the same way. You displayed yours. I remember.
I hate you right now. You had to get it out. I like how you segued into that nicely and just to stick it to me one more time. But no, you're absolutely right. That emblem is everything. We joke about it. You guys rub me about it, and I do dig the fact that you guys got it. But I mean, there's a part of me that says, "Damn, I wish I could have got that. I wish I could have had that emblem." And that goes a long ways. Yeah, the Redrix's Claymore might go away after a while, and people aren't going to use it anymore. But the fact that you still got that emblem, I know how much emblems mean to me because you guys always rock your Moments of Triumph emblem, and I'm always just like, man, I wish I had that. And that irks me. That irks me sometimes. So I mean, the people that have Claymore, I understand when they're upset, and I mean, you can't please everybody, but they're still going to be recognized for their efforts. They're still going to have something to show for it, and that's going to go a long ways as we continue to play Destiny 2.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Brent, I'm not sure what else they could have done. I mean, it's sure they could have just had this be a gun that is never available ever again, and they never do this perk combination again. But I mean, that eventually they gotta try it again, right? They can't only have 8,000 people have access to this really fun combo. You know?
I thought it was it was a really good idea. I like the fact that I didn't think they expected the whole Desperado Outlaw thing to be as fun as it is, and like you mentioned, they didn't expect so few people to get it, and they want to give everybody an opportunity to experience that. But it's still going to take you some time. It's going to be a grind to get it, but at the same time, it's just. The Claymore was so special, and this just kind of takes away from it a little bit, and I understand why people are frustrated about it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure there really was, like I said, an ideal way to tackle this, and I think this is probably the best route they could have gone. Maybe they could have reintroduced Redrix's broadsword as the same quest again this season.
Right.
Like maybe they could have had you go out and try to get the glory rank again to earn it, and maybe they could have explained like some of the changes that we're going to talk about that they're bringing to the Crucible, how that's going to change and how that's going to affect the way that you earn this gun. So maybe they could have just ran the quest back. Maybe that would have been a better solution. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I think I'm okay with the route that they're going here. It's still going to be a rare weapon, still going to be a weapon that not a lot of people get their hands on. And Yeah, maybe we'll actually be able to earn it.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's not that great of a number over what we see for Redrix's Claymore. I mean, this to again, this is a very lengthy quest, a very demanding quest. It's going to require a lot of time, and with everything else you can do in Destiny 2, all the things we're going to be able to do now with Gambit and Escalation Protocol expanding. There's a lot of stuff you're going to be doing, and to be able to go out and to have to go earn that, you're going to have to play a whole lot of Crucible. A lot.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and this is over the course of a season, too. So this is I'm expecting this to run 3 months. I'm not expecting this to run for the entire year.
No.
You've got to go in there, and you've got to knock this out over the course of 3 months and to earn yourself a Redrix's Broadsword. So, moving on from there, Brent, let's talk some Gambit, dude. Let's talk some Gambit. So a lot of people curious about what's going on with Gambit, what kind of rewards are we going to be earning, how is this thing exactly going to work. So these are the high-level goals for Gambit, just to get everybody on the same page here. So this is according to Bungie on This Week at Bungie. Goal number 1, fuse the best aspects of PvE and PvT and PvP into a brand new activity that you can experience only in Destiny 2. And from what we've heard from everybody that's played this mode, mission accomplished. Number 2, make the mode accessible to all players of all skill levels, but give it depth and variety that will keep even the most hardcore Guardians coming back for more. This is a very tight rope to walk, and it's a very difficult thing to find, that balance between the casual and the hardcore. Will they achieve it with Gambit? We'll find out soon. Number 3, there's always a role to play. Whether it's slaying enemies, scooping up moats, or invading, there's always a way to contribute to your team's success, which I love about this mode. Number 4, communication isn't required, but strategy and quick thinking are just as important as thumb skill. And number 5, always make it possible for teams that fall behind to come back so they don't become discouraged. So all very noble goals to have for Gambit here. So Gambit was designed, Brent, with replayability and variety as a core part of the experience. But Bungie knew that wouldn't be enough. Players need desirable loot to chase and a way to show their dedication. So with that in mind, Bungie has created a new ranking system for Gambit, and it's called Infamy. So here is how Infamy works. It's a progression-based ranking system where completing matches earns you points, much like Valor. Winning matches will greatly accelerate your climb, while losing matches still earns you points, just fewer than if you win. An experience that rewards players with unique Gambit weapons and armor is also a part of the Infamy ranking system. So Bungie's been watching the response to the Valor ranking system in the Crucible. A lot of this new work takes that community feedback into account. And at this point, we're going to now take a look at some thoughts here from Sam, who's one of the designers of Infamy at Bungie. So first thing that Sam talks about, Brent, is they've designed Infamy ranks to be more granular by splitting most of the familiar ranks into 3 tiers. This is very interesting. This will allow players to work towards shorter-term goals that are achievable in a few play sessions rather than over many weeks. It also gives Bungie the opportunity to grant more rewards. The Guardian, Brave, Heroic, Fabled, and Mythic ranks will all have 3 tiers. The Legend rank will remain as one solid chunk, as it does now. So, Brent, let me get your thoughts on that real quick. What do you think about this idea of making these ranks more granular and actually giving you short-term achievements within a particular ranking system? You're going to get 3 different goals or milestones that you're going to hit throughout each rank. Is that something you're on board with?
Yeah, because it makes it more interesting. I mean, with the current ranking system, you just go all the way around, and then boom, you get to a new one. But it takes a while to get to each rank. This one, it's more carrots in front at the end of the stick. You know, it just continue to grind, and you're getting stuff in between, little rewards here and there. I really like that because it's just going to keep you going. When you're doing it right now. I mean, you're playing matches, and there's not a lot of feedback there other than seeing that circle fill up. You know, that's all you really get. But now you're going to get rewards along the way. I kind of like the idea of that, man.
Yeah, and if I had to guess how this might work, I would guess that the 3 smaller achievements within each ranking system would grant you a small reward, maybe a Gambit package, for instance. You'll get one, you'll be able to open it and get tokens or a gun or whatever the case may be. And then once you finish the rank, then you'll get an even better reward. So, the special rocket launcher or something like that you might get. that you wouldn't have gotten just from the little mini goals that you're going to hit within each rank.
Right.
But we'll have to see exactly how it works. So apart from this change, infamy ranks will function very much like Valor ranks do. So each rank will require more infamy points to complete than the last. Win streaks award bonus points. Your win streak caps at 5 and doesn't get reset until you lose a match, and your win streak won't be reset if you join a match in progress. In addition to completing matches, you can also earn infamy by completing Gambit bounties. So this is another thing that we've talked about, Brent, how bounties are going to be much more prevalent once Forsaken hits. So we have the strike bounties, the Crucible bounties right now, but we're hearing every single week about bounties in specific activities and how they're going to factor into things. So bounties are going to be a very large part of Forsaken, and that's going to be no different with Gambit. Each day, the Drifter will have a selection of daily bounties available for sale that award infamy points as well as other rewards. He'll also sell a special weekly bounty once you hit level 50. So that's the level cap in Destiny 2 Forsaken. That's not level 50 with Gambit. That's level 50 with your character. The weekly bounty will award a large number of infamy points and a piece of powerful gear. This will allow you to always be making progress toward legend no matter what your short-term goals are. So Brent, what are your thoughts on that, man? Do you like the idea of this being basically a part of the end game now? You'd be able to earn powerful engrams. You'd be able to have kind of this broader goal that you're working towards once you hit level 50.
Yeah, I mean it's what we want. This is all coming back to Bungie listening to the community. We want stuff to do. We want reasons to hop on and play. Adding bounties and all this stuff and rewards and pursuits and all that jazz. This is all just a part of the grand scheme of things where we want stuff to do. I mean, that's basically what it is. They're giving us more incentive once we reach endgame. More incentive, more stuff to do, more rewards. Constantly rewarding you is a great thing. You know, that's what keeps people going. Yeah. Constant rewards.
Yeah, man. That's what Gambit or what Destiny's all about. It's about loot. It's about the rewards.
Yep.
It's about getting in there and earning that stuff. And it looks like we're gonna have access to some pretty sweet stuff with the picture that they attached to this thing to go by. Got a pretty sweet rocket launcher. Got looks like a Warlock rocking some sweet gear as well. So definitely can't wait. Dude, I can't wait to get in there and play a lot of Gambit, man. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
Dude, that video of Gambit was absolutely absurd. I am seriously so excited to play this mode. It just looked incredible. It looks exciting. It looks fun, and and they talk about it's not a lot of communication is needed there. But based on what we were watching in that video, you're gonna need a lot of communication if you want to win. When you're gonna talk to each other, you gotta look out for the portal, watch for the invader to hop in, balancing things out. There's gonna be a lot of depth to it. I mean, they made it sound like it doesn't have to. It's not a terribly deep experience. But it will be if you make it that way, especially if you're coordinating with your team. There's going to be a lot of depth involved here. It's going to be a really fun mode to explore.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. Gambit just looks like a ton of fun. It's a unique mode just in gaming in general, man. So it's something we haven't really quite seen up to this point, and from like I said, from everybody that's been getting their hands on it, everybody seems to be having a great time with this mode. It's been getting very high praise, so I can't wait to be one of those people playing this thing and be able to chime in with it myself. But moving on from Gambit and Infamy, let's talk a little bit about how the Crucible is going to change now with Season 4, Brent. And there's some significant things that are going to be adjusted in here. So there's a number of goals that Kevin Giannis hopped on this week at Bungie to talk about with the Crucible and how things are changing. So goal number 1 is to make earning a high rank in Glory not feel like your second job. A lot of the things that we're going to talk about have to do with Glory. So with regards to that, this is what's changing. Glory rank points gained and lost have been retuned to reduce the overall climb to higher ranks. The weekly award has been fixed and its gains have been doubled. So if you remember, there was an issue with people getting the bonus, Glory or whatever for when they log in the following week if they played 3 matches in the week prior. That's been fixed. Not only has it been fixed, but you get double the amount of Glory now as a bonus when you log back in. So that's huge. Goal number 2, recognize the achievements of players who did not receive their weekly awards in Season 3. So this is what's changing. Players who competed in Season 3 will earn bonus rank points for completing their first match in Season 4. This does not require completion of any previous weekly milestone. Goal number 3, encourage more players to strive for higher Glory ranks. Once again, this is all about getting people into that competitive Glory part of the Crucible. So this is what's changing. losses in the competitive playlist no longer reset your Valor win streak. So that's interesting. So this encourages people that play Valor or play quick play and want to give competitive a shot. This will not affect your Valor win streak, even though you earn Valor from the competitive playlist. Radar has been re-enabled during competitive gameplay. Oh boy. Now we're gonna pause and talk about this for a minute. Now, Brent, I mentioned this to you when this came out, but we are in, from what I can tell, the absolute minority when it comes to people that do not want Radar to return to the competitive playlist. Personally, I've really liked this season being able to go into competitive, not have the Radar there, and be able to flank and do everything that comes along with that. It's very tense. It's very competitive in that playlist, as the name implies. But for whatever reason, the Destiny community was not on board with this at all. They were not happy with the Radar being removed from the competitive playlist from everything that I've seen. And I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe you have some thoughts on that. I don't know if it's just because they want Destiny to just continuously be that balls to the wall action experience, and they don't want the tense, smaller moments that come with no Radar in the competitive plays. That's the only thing I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't really know why the community wouldn't want that. It was a nice thing that differentiated the competitive playlist from the quick play playlist. So I'm not totally on board with them bringing Radar back to competitive gameplay. I know you're not either. So let me get your thoughts on this change.
First off, what's up to Jacob, Super Cooper, and Badass Lord Tipsy in the chat? What's going on, fellas?
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, with the whole Radar thing, my biggest issue with Radar is it enables team shooting. Okay, it gives the enemy team an idea of where you're at, whether it's just you or a couple of your teammates. It doesn't matter. It gives them an idea of where you're at. So if you've got, you're playing an enemy team with 3 or 4 people who are just gunning down on your team, and you're like, I'm going to flank to the outside and try to and loosen them up and get rid of a couple of them. Now they know, and you're just going to get wiped out when you come around the corner. There's no element of surprise. There's no strategy. It's just basically, hey, follow the red. If there's red on the radar, just start shooting before they come around the corner. And I can't stand that. I don't like that at all. I love not knowing where people are. I love having to try to find them, communicate with my team and everything, because that's what competitive is all about. So it just really irks me that they're bringing it back. But at the same time, time to kill is reduced now. So even if they know I'm coming, I might be able to get around, pop off a couple precision shots, and drop people. It's going to put more onus on me to be accurate, to take smarter shots when I come around the corner. So I guess I'm okay with that for now. But my issue is with team shooting, because it just gives you an idea of where everyone's at, and there's no communication required. It's just, okay, let's all go towards the red. I still think if Bungie could change the radar to where only it turns red if you're shooting. If someone's running around or flanking, they shouldn't be punished for it. If people are shooting their guns like crazy and taking terrible shots, yes, they should show up on the radar. Yes, they should be eliminated. It's just, I wish there was a balance. I wish it just wasn't, yep, here's a radar, here's where everyone's at. It's just that part kind of annoys me, especially on the competitive. If I want that on quick play, awesome, cool. I can go quick play, do whatever that is. If I'm in competitive doing control or something like that, and I'm trying to capture a point, and I'm trying to be stealthy about it, I'm trying to get there undetected, I can't do that anymore, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I hear you, man. And I'd be interested to hear from somebody that really wants Radar back into competitive, and why that reason is. The only thing I can think of, like I said, is they just want Destiny to continue to be that action-packed experience, no matter what mode they in. They don't want the smaller, tense moments. But it's interesting you talk about your biggest issue with that being team shotting, and that's one of the things that they're looking to eliminate with the Crucible in Forsaken, with the changes to time to kill and the changes that they're making to the weapon system in general. Like, the hope is that won't be an issue anymore, because time to kill has been dropped, lethality has been increased. You're now going to be able to lone wolf things in the Crucible and be able to take out people, be able to take out multiple people if you get the drop on them. So yeah, we'll have to see how it all works, but it's very interesting, man. So moving on with what's changing in competitive, Control and Clash both being added to the competitive playlist. Lost streaks have been removed completely.
Oh, wow.
And they are also currently investigating activity reconnections to competitive Crucible. This is big for players who encounter an error mid-game. This will not be available at the launch of Forsaken, but we are looking to add this feature post-launch. So one of the features of the competitive playlist is once you drop out of a match, that's it. That slot does not get filled. And a lot of times that might not be your fault. You might drop off due to a connection issue. Destiny's an always online game, obviously. So there might be an issue where you got kicked from the server for whatever reason. So they are looking at ways that people can get back into a match if that happens. And that would be awesome if they're able to figure that out in the future. So Brent, what do you think about as a whole what they're doing with competitive? Do you like that they're bringing Control and Clash into the equation now? They'll basically get a quote-unquote sweatier mode of those two game modes now as a part of the competitive playlist. Do you like that they're removing loss streaks completely? Obviously, you'll still get losses and you'll still lose points, but those streaks are completely gone. You just lose. You'll just get a flat rate for whatever your loss is, I guess. What's your thoughts on all this, man?
You know me, man. I don't like it when they make things more friendly, more casual for people. So the loss streaks, I guess I understand that it kind of keeps things going. It doesn't make it as punishing. So I guess that's a happy medium. You're still gonna lose. You're still gonna lose points over and over, but it won't be as much as if you lose 5 in a row, where you're just it's getting more and more and more each time. So. That's all right. I love the idea that Control is coming to competitive. I love Control. I think Control is a really fun mode, especially when you're playing as a team. What's that mode, that new mode that's coming to competitive that we saw on that?
Is it Breakthrough?
Breakthrough.
Yeah,
Breakthrough. I like that mode. I think that mode's going to be cool, but I like the fact that they're bringing in Clash and Control. It'll keep things fresh, new modes to play and stuff like that. But it's still going to require a hell of a lot of skill. You're going to have to be good at every single mode if you want to climb the glory ranks.
Yeah, so just overall, are you on board with what they're trying to do with the glory system in Forsaken? They're trying to get more people involved in it. Should that be the goal of glory, or do you think this should maybe veer the other way and continue to get tougher and tougher to be a part of it, continue to cater to just the elite of the elite Crucible players? What do you think, man?
At first I did think that because Iron Banner wasn't the same, and neither was Trials. I think those are where the elite of the elite have to be. And I think by doing that, it gives you another way to play if you're not elite. Glory is going to be a little bit more accessible, but with Iron Banner getting power level back, Iron Banner will become the elite. And then once they bring back Trials of the 9, once they make whatever changes to it, that will be the elite of the elite. So you're going to have kind of like quick play is like really accessible. Competitive is like, all right, yeah, we can go in here and find some good action, some good combat. But then when you go to like the Iron Banner, that's a little bit tougher. But the Trials of the 9 is still supposed to be the one. That's supposed to be the elite, the premier online experience.
Speaking of Iron Banner was extremely competitive with this last go around.
Yeah, it was.
So the matches were intense with these new rules, with the control points being locked down. Like we got into some extremely tough matches as a part of Iron Banner this past go around. So I think you're onto something there with the Iron Banner becoming a lot sweatier, a lot more competitive with power levels and with the changes they've made to the capture systems in Iron Banner. Yeah, that's going to be an extremely competitive mode. So I'm looking forward to getting in there and experiencing some more of that. Another thing I want to get your thoughts on, Brent. So we talked about Redrix's broadsword, but basically the way Bungie's going with these glory ranks now is one of their goals is to remove the time pressures associated with glory ranks. So that was what they did with Redrix's Claymore. You only had this season to get that done. Pinnacle Crucible rewards are now awarded via quests, similar to what we talked about with the broadsword. Some of these quests will ask you to engage with Valor or Glory ranks. These quests will not go away at the end of the season. They also mention here, too, that a new Crucible reward will be added via a quest in Season 4. And it's unclear whether this is Redrix's broadsword or if this is a completely new Pinnacle weapon that we'll be able to go after as well. So it sounds like there might be an additional one to Redrix's broadsword. So obviously we've already talked extensively about the broadsword, Brent, but do you like this idea of Pinnacle Crucible rewards now being granted via quests moving forward, not being tied to a season, not being tied to a particular period of time? Do you like the idea of this? Is this the way that you want to see, or do you prefer that they go back and issue these things, on a 3-month period for whoever can achieve them?
First of all, Lord Cognito is in the chat. He said he loved the new Iron Banner locked zone mechanic. I loved it too. I thought it worked really well.
Yep,
I thought it worked really well. So, I agree 100% with that.
Dude,
but
it completely changed the
oh hell
strategy
yeah,
of Iron Banner.
oh yeah.
Completely.
I mean, before when they had all 3 points locked down, you're like, okay, or you had to do whatever. But now when it happens, you're like, okay, everyone's got locked down. Everyone go hide. Everyone run away. You're trying to survive. You're not engaging anybody when they had all 3 locked down because you're like, we have 30, what was it, 20 seconds?
I think it's 20 seconds.
20 seconds, and we're like, all right, everyone disperse and go hide and don't make any noise. Like everyone's just running and hiding, like don't get killed. But there was a couple times we ran a short-handed goal, if you will, where they were on the power play, but we managed to wipe out the entire team. We're like, damn, that was like a nice short-handed goal there. So, very, very cool mode. I really like what they're doing with Iron Banner, and like you mentioned before, I think Iron Banner is going to be the one of the peak events, one of the premier competitive spots in the Crucible. But
there's also too, Brent, like when you're playing Iron Banner with the new mechanics, and you get that first match where your team's down by 20 or 30, and you get a power play, and you lock down those zones, and you make that comeback. And
hell yeah!
Either tie them up or take the lead and eventually win the match.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something that wouldn't have been possible before, and that's a super awesome feeling when you're able to accomplish that. So it's a lot of fun, man. I love the new mechanics.
Yeah, it worked really, really well. I really enjoyed that. But to answer your question, I love the time crunch stuff because that's part of like Destiny. You got only a certain amount of time. It's like the Moments of Triumph. You only have a certain amount of time, and it makes all the rewards, all the Moment of Triumphs that you unlock that much sweeter because you're like, man, I only had a month to do this, and I accomplished it, and I'm really excited about that. I get this emblem. I get the 400 emblem. I beat it in a month. And I understand why they got some of these quests in here that'll last a little bit longer because it gives more people a chance to get these items. They don't want to have another Redrix's Claymore on their hands. They don't want to do that again. But there's still going to be items that are going to be a grind, like the broadsword we talked about. Yes, there's a quest. There's stuff you got to do, but it is going to take you a long time to do it. So as long as these quests are difficult and they're not simple, if they're gonna go across the entire year as opposed to just seasons, I'm cool with that. I'm all right with that. But I do like the time crunch stuff, Moments of Triumph, even with the way the Redrix's Claymore. It's just the Redrix's Claymore is so damn fun, and only so few people got it. I can understand that, but I'm indifferent. I like the time crunch stuff, but I also like the stuff that's going to keep me going for a long period of time past the the first season.
Yeah. I pretty much agree with you, man. I'm on the same page with you there. As long as the quests are like lengthy and involved, and they give you that element of the grind, I think it'll be okay if they award this stuff via quest. And there's nothing saying that they can't do a quest that's tied to glory rank.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do a quest that forces you to do some of the stuff that you may have had to do to get Redrix's Claymore. Maybe you're just not on a time crunch to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it'd be very interesting to see what they do with that. Final goal that they mentioned with the Crucible, Brent, is to promote Rumble as a third mode, which is interesting. So I'm guessing they want quick play, competitive, and Rumble. Is that what they're going for here when they mention a third mode?
Oh wow!
So they mentioned earning a place in the top 3 in Rumble will now count as a win, and the correct number of Valor points will be granted. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes along. I don't play very much Rumble. I mean, I know it just got re-added to the game, but I haven't stepped into Rumble at all since it's been a part of Destiny 2. It remains to be seen whether that will change once Forsaken hits. Moving on from there, Brent, let's touch on what they're doing with clans. So,
yes,
some interesting stuff here. So how you earn clan XP is changing with Forsaken. When you start your journey in Forsaken, Hawthorne will have 3 daily bounties. Once again, going back to this idea of bounties being more prevalent in Forsaken.
Yep.
They're basically in every aspect of the game. Hawthorne will have 3 daily bounties. They can be completed alone or with the fire team to grant a small amount of clan XP. Once your character reaches the new level 50, Hawthorne will add 3 additional weekly bounties that grant larger amounts of clan XP, but require you to team up with your clanmates. Interesting. So here's a preview of the clan perks for Season 4, and what Bungie is hoping will be more impactful and worth the time it takes to achieve them. So rank 3, increased resilience when you're in a fire team with clanmates.
Nice.
That's interesting.
That is really good.
Because if that applies to both PvE and PvP, that could be a game changer. Rank 5 grants a chance to receive additional etheric and baryon resources when collecting them in the reef. And as we've learned recently, Brent, resources are far more important in
Yep.
Forsaken than they were in Destiny 2. Right now, the entire economy of the game is changing with Forsaken, and they will all be based around the resources that are on these different planets.
Mm-hmm.
In rank 6, the weekly clan milestone also grants a masterwork core every time you achieve that milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, man, on what they're doing with the clan system? Do you like that they're changing the reward system? Do you like what they're doing with the emphasis on working with your teammates? Do you like what you're hearing from these ranks? Do you think this is the way that they should go, or do you think that that we need even better rewards?
Dude, those 3 things you just talked about there are way more appealing than any of the clan rewards we currently have in Destiny 2. I mean, if you look at these clan rewards, how lame are? I mean, I don't want to say they're lame, but just how uninteresting are they? Every time we open up that thing, we're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna get possibly an extra legendary engram.
Or I'll get an extra token in the Crucible.
Yeah, I'll get an extra token on Mars. Ooh, what am I gonna do with that? I mean, it's just
turn it into Anna Bray and get the same scout rifle we've got for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like everything in Destiny. It's like when bounties started. I mean, the Crucible bounties are like, what the hell are these? These Crucible bounties are just really lame. You know, you don't get anything for it. But everything is evolving. Everything started somewhere, but it's going to evolve. Much like Destiny 2 is going to evolve with Forsaken. Things are going to get deeper. Things are going to get better. And I love this, man, because now clan stuff really is going to matter. Dude, other than when I look at, if we've done the Nightfall as a clan or anything like that, I don't look at the rewards anymore. They are so disinteresting. I'm just like, I have no interest in any of these things. Now, these sound interesting. Now I want to sit there and get everyone together. Like, all right, look, we got to knock these things out. I need these resources so I can upgrade this gun. I mean, that stuff is huge. The fact that these resources from each planet are going to come back into ranking up weapons, much like we did in Destiny 1, that is huge. And the fact that it's tied to clan stuff, yes, me and you are going to go grind down on the EDZ for 4 hours until I get all the stuff I need for this certain gun. Hell yes.
No, I'm with you, dude. And hell, that the third rank might be the best one of them all, and that's the one right in the middle. Increased resilience when you're in a fire team with your clanmates. And my question with that is, like, does that stack? So if you're in a team with 3 guys, do you get even more? If you're in a team with 6 guys and go into a raid,
I mean, I think the balancing issue would come into PvP. I mean, if you're playing, if it's just you and I, and a bunch of randos playing a full clan, I think that would be a little unbalanced. But I think what you'll see is, like, when you're rolling with your clan, maybe you'll see like a little bump like you do when you have like a weapon masterworked. You'll see your resilience on your armor just going up just a skosh for everybody because you're in a clan. I don't think you can go by how many people, because that would just make things really unbalanced and Crucible, especially if it's a whole clan versus just a bunch of randoms. That's just not very fair. But I think if it's just a slight bump for the crew, I think that's more than fair.
If I had to guess, I would guess that this is a PvE only thing. Maybe we'll see it in PvP, but I think there's a small chance of that being the case. But regardless, still a very cool perk for PvE players. Brent, let's talk some times, man. So everybody wants to know, when are we playing Forsaken? When are we doing the raid? All this kind of stuff. We now know. On September 4th, which is the day Forsaken launches, there will be a day 1 patch that players will need to download before they can play Forsaken. So unfortunately, Brent, Forsaken will not be available at midnight on Tuesday. Destiny 2 will be brought down for maintenance at 7 a.m. Pacific time on September 4th. And we anticipate that the patch will become available to players on all platforms by 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Maintenance will end at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern, and assuming you have completed your download, you can start playing Forsaken at that time. So Forsaken will launch, once again, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, on Tuesday, September 4th. I'll be at work. Awesome. The next date that we need to know about is, when is the raid going live, Brent? When is the raid? Everybody talking about when the raid's going live. And if I had to guess, from what I've seen, the prevailing feeling of the community is that we do not want the raid on that Friday. Right. When the game comes out. We don't want it on September 7th. A, Spider-Man's out that day, so we don't want to have to worry about the raid because Spidey's out. And B, there is a huge gap between the beginning of Forsaken and the end of Forsaken in terms of power level. Some are going to start Forsaken at level 400. Some are going to start it at 385. Some are going to start it at 300, whatever the case may be. But the final level for Forsaken is 600. It's a huge gulf between where you start. And if they go by the principles they they introduced during Warmind in terms of how the level up is working and how the grind is going to work. That's going to be a significant grind to get up to level 600. Now, we don't know what the power level for the raid will entail, but the raid will go live September 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 1 p.m. Eastern, and that is 10 days following the launch of Forsaken. Now, once again, this still doesn't seem like enough time. I mean, 10 days, I highly doubt I'm going to be anywhere close to raid ready or the end game of Forsaken, or the final end game of Forsaken at that time. Of course, we'll have completed the campaign. We'll probably be in the Dreaming City. We'll be doing stuff in terms of end game activities, but I highly doubt we'll be anywhere close to the 550. I mean, what do you think the power level is going to be, or whatever the case may be? I just don't see us being that close to the end of the raid at that point. We also know the title of the raid. It's Last Wish, and, which is an awesome name for a raid. But Brent, let me get your thoughts, man. We know the times. We know what's going on with the raid. What is your thoughts on the timing of the raid, and do you like this date of September 14th?
Yes, I do. I think that's a decent day. I mean, would I like it to be a little further out? Yeah, absolutely, because, we can't grind all day like the grindiest of grinders. They're going to be in there all day. There will be people that'll be damn near close 600, prior to when the raid drops, and I respect that.
Which is nuts.
Which is nuts, but I respect that grind, and I respect people that can get there. But I do like this because it allows us a better opportunity to get into the raid at the same time as everyone else. No, it's not going to be the same day, but we won't have to worry about spoilers being out there. We'll be able to work as hard as we can to get as close as we can as possible, hop into it, at some point shortly after, as opposed to be like, man, people are in there the Friday after, everyone's talking about it, everyone's playing it kind of gets spoiled for you and all that jazz. Now, everyone's kind of almost on the same page now. Everyone's kind of starting off at the same point. Everyone's got to grind. And even for those that hit 600 or close to it, they're still going to have stuff to be working on. And then when the raid drops, that's cool. But I'm glad it's not right there after the launch. This is a little bit further out. So it gives us a kind of an opportunity to get into the raid at the same time as everybody else.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much the sweet spot for everybody. It's not so soon that everybody feels pressured to just grind the hell out of this game for hours on end when it first comes out. And it's just for far enough away where the people that really play this game a lot, they'll be ready to go 10 days in. They'll be at the point they need to be at. And it won't be too long of a wait where they're just waiting weeks or months for the raid to get released. It'll be there for them within 10 days. So I do think that this is probably the sweet spot for the raid. But yeah, my question, Brent, and I mentioned it earlier, but what's the power level going to be with this thing? Is it going to be closer to 600, or, thinking back when they mentioned the pinnacle strike activities, I believe they mentioned level 500. So might the raid be a level 500 activity, you think? Or what? I mean, we've never started a new expansion or a new piece of content for Destiny with a power gulf this wide.
Right.
200 power levels from where we're going to start to where the end of the game is. We've never had a gulf that wide, so obviously Bungie knows that as well. So do they typically when they do a raid, it would be close to the maximum level that you would achieve for that season? That would be what they would put the raid at. So just for kicks, if it was 600, they might start the raid at 570. But in this case, with the gulf being so wide in power, might we see this thing start at 500 maybe?
I wouldn't be surprised if you see it at 500, and then the prestige version of the raid being obviously higher than that. So it'll still be a difficult challenge. But yeah, I think 500 is a good bet there. And I like Badass Tipsy said in the chat, he goes, Fear the Beard said, I hope, for 2 weeks out at least, that's nice. And then Tipsy says, yeah, it gives you time to schedule your vacation. So you can get that vacation day in on the 14th. I dig it. That's I'm all out of vacation time, so I'm just lucky I'm off on the day that Forsaken drops, so you're able to hop into it during the day while Piccolo's at work, so I can send him texts and all that jazz about how fun the game is.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to see that. All right, so moving on from there, let's talk some mods, Brent.
Mods.
So mods have been a hot topic of discussion in the Destiny community. We saw a lot about mods on the combat reveal stream. They talked about some of the things that we were going to see in terms of the new mod system. And I really, the more and more I read about it, the more I get into it. I really like what the new mod system is doing. Essentially, it's giving you a third perk for your guns, and you can choose which perk you want to add to these guns. It's not just, hey, we're making this thing solar or whatever it is. It's we're significantly changing this gun by adding this mod to it. We're increasing our inner accuracy. We're increasing our target acquisition. Whatever the case may be, we're putting counterbalance on your weapon, which is huge. So I've got to get my hands on those counterbalance mods, man. That's gonna be my goal. Get as many of those stocked up as I can. But yeah, there's going to be a lot going on with the mod system, and I'm very, very excited to get in there and get my hands on it. But they had some clarifications this week in terms of what's going on with the mods. So just so everybody's aware. So all exotic armor, regardless of the year, has a chance to come equipped with a mod. Very interesting. So even year 1, exotic weapons have a chance to come equipped with a mod now. Non-raid year 2 legendary weapons and armor drops have a small chance to come equipped with a mod. If you have mod components and glimmer necessary to feed your habit, you may choose to go straight to Banshee 44, the gunsmith, who will have 2 mod packages available for purchase every day. So there's a direct buy year 2 armor mod and a direct buy year 2 weapon mod. This is updated daily. So I'm guessing that maybe this is something that rotates every single day, and there's a specific mod that you can purchase. It's hard to exactly glean what they mean by that, but that's interesting. In terms of armor, year 2 armor mods will always drop 1 mod component when dismantled. Year 1 legendary armor mods always drop 1 mod component when dismantled, and year 1 rare armor mods have a small chance of dropping 1 mod component when dismantled. And this is the same exact thing for weapon mods as well. The year 2 weapon mods always drop 1 mod component, and so on and so forth. And a very interesting thing they put at the end of this mod section here, Brent, but at the launch of Forsaken on September 4th, year 1 armor mods in your inventory will cease to work, but can be dismantled or traded for materials. Year 1 armor mods currently slotted into your year 1 armor will cease to work, but remain slotted into the armor. Year 2 armor mods will be able to be slotted into both year 1 and year 2 armor mod slots, which is very interesting because this is not the case for weapons. So weapons will not get the new mod system for the year 1 weapons. They will not have access to the new mod system. But according to Bungie here, year 1 armor will, which I thought was interesting. So what do you make of this, man? What do you make of the mod system? What do you make of what they're doing with this here? Does all this stuff make sense?
I'm glad they put this post, because in the post they actually said, there's a lot of confusion with the mods, and despite how much they added in here and how much they explain things, I'm still kind of confused about mods. I think the mods are going to be a system where I have to jump in and actually play with it to kind of get my head around it. It's difficult for them to explain it because it's a very deep system. This is a much deeper system that's currently in place right now, and I think the fact that we're still dealing with year 1 stuff and year 2 stuff is going to make things a little confusing for a while. But I think it is interesting, man, that the armor mods for year 1 stuff will still be able to be altered. That's very, very strange.
Yeah, what do you make of that? Like, why do it for the armor and not the weapons?
I wonder if it's just because they want to give the armor, because the armor has always been so just kind of generic. I wonder because there's so many cool pieces of armor that has like cool abilities and whatnot to it, that I wonder if they're let's make them a little more special for a while longer. Give the armor some love. The weapons, I think those are getting enough mods as it is. A lot of these weapons have their own perks to it, but I think just the armor stuff needs a little bit of love, man. The armor perks and mods and all that stuff, since Destiny just launched it, like we've talked before, is still kind of like generic.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Like, there's a lot of really cool looking armor pieces, specifically like the stuff that we're working on right now with the Solstice of Heroes, and the glows and things that you can add to it. So being able to bring those into year 2, being able to add a mod to them and still be able to use them in year 2, I think is going to be special for a lot of people. We have like our Iron Banner gear completely ornamented out and ready to go. Like, so being able to put a mod onto that stuff and still rock that is cool. So yeah, I think it's just simply comes down to that. People like the way their year 1 armor looks. They still want to be able to use it in year 2. They're giving us an option to use that. And we also know that a lot of the year 1, not a lot of them, but specific year 1 guns will be brought into year 2, such as the Better Devil. So we'll have access to like the Pinnacle guns from year 1 as well. So I think that's probably a factor into all this as well. Next thing we want to discuss, Brent, we got a little sneak peek of the patch notes that are coming with update 2.0.0 on August 28th. Dude, we're 5 days away from the release of this update, which gets us ready for Forsaken. It's wild. But a couple things I want to touch on here, man. So some big changes coming to the hunters. I want to get your thoughts on these.
Yeah.
So when it comes to exotic armor, Celestial Nighthawk will grant 33% of your super energy back if a target is killed by the golden gunshot.
Wow.
That's pretty heavy.
That's substantial. That's a decent amount there.
Yeah. Have you rocked the Nighthawk at all in Destiny 2? You wore that thing all the time in Destiny 1.
Yeah, I loved it in D1, but there's just there's another helmet I like to wear in Destiny 2, and we'll talk about that right now.
Yeah, you like to wear a helmet that sucks, and it's the worm husk crown. So look, if you are not a hunter in the Crucible, like you hate this helmet. This helmet just sucks. It blows. It needs to change. And I'm glad that Bungie's going in here and they're making the necessary changes. So the worm husk crown, this stupid helmet that gives you all your health back, dodge behind a wall. This thing just sucks, man. So the worm husk crown, first and foremost, Brent, in Forsaken, or hell, with August 28th, with the update, it will no longer start regeneration of health and shields. Can we get a round of applause for that? Round of applause for the worm husk crown. Come on, dude. I see the excitement. Come on. You gotta get those hands clapping. And number 2, instead, it will grant a larger health and shield bump at the beginning of dodge instead of at the end. Brent, the floor is yours, man. Your thoughts on what's going on with the worm husk crown? Your baby.
Well, I mean, the fact is, boys, you're still going to have to try to kill the hunter. The husk has nothing to do with the warlock's inability to like kill anything with its supers and most hunter or most warlocks that I play with are really inept in Crucible. So, I mean, the fact that I'm wearing the worm husk doesn't really matter. You can't hit me anyways with the shade step. You can't hit me when you can't see me, baby. You can't see me. You can't see me. That's what it is. And, no, I understand why they're doing this because I myself am a hunter, and I will be shooting at a hunter, and then they'll do the dodge. I'm like, oh, dude, you suck. And then I immediately remember, oh, wait, I'm wearing the same helmet. I'm a hypocrite. So, I mean, it is kind of a cheat. I use it a lot in Crucible, but I use it even more doing the knife off. I don't have if I don't have Crimson, or if I'm not using my Void character where I can use the Orpheus rigs. It's useful in a lot of other arenas as well. But yeah, it was a pain in the ass in Crucible. But it's just. The fact is, you still have to kill the people, boys, and that is really where your true problem is. You're blaming a cool-looking helmet for your inability to shoot things. So it is what it is. I understand why you're excited for it, but I think once you go in there and you're still getting killed by hunters left and right, it's not going to matter what helmet they're wearing, bro, and that's the moment I'm waiting for. That's why I want to see your face be like going, oh, maybe it wasn't the helmet. I
mean, clearly you talked about at the beginning of the show. You're tired. The mind is foggy. It's not seeing clearly. So, like, I get it. It's okay. I know you're saying some things that you don't really mean or that you don't fully understand. That's totally cool. I get it. But yeah, after this, I'll send you my screenshot collection of all my top efficiencies in the Crucible. You can post them on your wall there and stare at my awesome warlock goodness. But yeah, I mean. Look, we can all agree that the worm husk needed to be looked at. It was just it was something that needed to be adjusted. It needed to be looked at, and it remains to be seen if this is the correct solution for it or not. I mean, do you like this idea of a larger health and shield bump at the beginning of the dodge? Do you think that's the right solution to this?
I mean, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's not nearly as effective now as it was before. Yeah. But I mean, it still has a perk, but it's not the perk. It's not the OP perk that it was.
Cool. I do want to mention some stuff they're doing with the warlocks too. So interesting here, but increase healing rift effectiveness, which is great. It's going to be seemingly especially effective when you're using that Dawnblade class. That's the support class.
Yep.
So being able to have an even more effective healing rift is awesome. And then empowering rift now increases precision damage. Previously, bonus damage was capped at the weapon's precision damage in PvP. So Brent, this could be absolutely huge in a raid.
Oh, yeah.
You're sitting there in a damage phase and you're precision damaging a boss. If you drop a rift and it now enhances your precision damage, you're using like Whisper of the Worm. That's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
For teams if it's used properly.
Dude, if you drop that and I got the Darcy and it's just, oh, man, it's all over, dude. It'll be over even quicker than it normally is with the Darcy. But you drop that empowering rift, good grief.
Yeah, I mean, what's that number going to read when it hits? Jeez.
Just a tilt. It'll just say tilt every time you hit precision.
Man. Yeah, so some interesting stuff with the classes there, but perhaps even more interesting, Brent. They gave us a little peek of what they're doing with the grenades, and it looks like across the board, grenades are having their base damage increased on seemingly every class and every version of the grenade. So that's really exciting. I do think that grenades need to be buffed. Like they mentioned on that combat reveal stream, we are not going back to the year one Destiny 1, or I'm sorry, to the Destiny 1 instant grenade kills in the Crucible. Like, that is not going to be a thing probably ever again, but grenades are going to be more effective. So maybe I can throw a damn grenade and it at least drops a shield. Like, can we at least get that? Can I at least hit you with a grenade and kill you if your shield's dead? Like, maybe we can get that. So it seems like we're going to at least have that, but even more so maybe in PvE, our grenades are going to be even more effective. This has got to be a change that you're excited about, man.
Yeah, because I get tired of throwing my grenade and have somebody run through it as it blows up and it maybe knocks the wind out of them before they put a shotgun in my face. Or maybe it just messes up their hair a little bit. It's just like, come on, dude, you just ran through my grenade and nothing. It's just like, yeah, the grenades are underpowered. I mean, I don't want them to be one-shot kills, because then people spam the hell out of it and then it ruins it takes away from the skill that's required with the actual weapons. But if somebody's shield is broken and they run through my grenade, it should be game over for them. If their shield is full, that's fine. If it breaks the shield, that's what the grenade should be there, is break shields or kill people when their shields are down. If they're hunkering behind a wall trying to wait for their shield to reboot, that's when a grenade should kill somebody. But if they have a full shield and they run through my grenade and it doesn't kill them, I don't care about that. But I want it to be effective in some way, but it should not be a one-hit kill. It shouldn't be, unless the shield is busted.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. What I've been using a lot of, how I've been using my grenades a lot lately is obviously with the time to kill not yet being adjusted. You'll get into firefights in the Crucible, and the guy you're fighting will duck back behind a wall before he dies because he has time to do that. So then once you take his health down a little bit and you've got him like within an inch of his life, throw out that grenade. I have like the heat-seeking one on my Void Walker. Just throw that grenade out there and just watch him die behind the wall. So that's been the go-to move, and it'll be exciting to see those even more effective once Forsaken hits. Some very interesting quality of life adjustments that they gave us a preview of too, Brent. I want to get your thoughts on these. Swords will be able to accept shaders now. And how about this? The wanted escapees from the Prison of Elders will roam the open world starting on August 28th. They will not drop rewards, however, until September 4th when Forsaken launches. And another interesting one here, they're increasing the difficulty of lost sectors. So this is definitely a welcome change. An example of this is the EDZ lost sectors will now become 240 power. So obviously still significantly lower than what our current level is, but quite a bit higher than what they're currently at in terms of their power level. What's your thoughts on this stuff, man?
Yeah, I like the the EDZ being a little bit more difficult. I mean, you can just stroll in there by yourself right now and just decimate everybody just quickly. Yeah. But it's still at 240. It's not going to be terribly difficult, but it'll be a little bit more challenging. And I love the fact that these dudes are going to be wandering about, though. I like that a lot. The escape prisoners. I think that's awesome. I mean, on the 28th, you're going to hop in there to the download, and you're going to wander them going, "Who the hell is that dude?"
Yeah, you might see a pod like drop out of the sky.
Yeah, this dude is like, who is this guy? And that's cool. That's fresh. That's something I want to see before the launch. Kind of get people excited about it. Get people fired up. Not only are we going to get all the new weapons, we'll see some of the new weapon slots. We're going to see some new enemies wandering about the planets.
Yeah, if you're not a hardcore Destiny fan, if you're not somebody that listens to Tower Talk every week, and you're in Destiny and you're just roaming around the world, and all of a sudden this escape pod from the Prison of Elders drops in your world, you're gonna be like, whoa, what is this? What is happening right now? And you're gonna get excited about this stuff, and then you're gonna come and listen to Tower Talk. You're gonna figure out like what's going on with that. But yeah, I love when they do stuff like that. It's really cool, man. And then finally, in terms of the patch notes, Brent, we got a little hint of what Xur's up to.
Yeah,
so
this is weird.
How about this? So Xur will no longer display a vendor icon on destination maps. So this will go back to the Xur of Destiny 1. We have no idea where this dude is.
Yep.
It's going to be a community effort to find this guy and place where he's at on a given week. He will no longer be tied to flashpoints.
Yep.
So it's no longer like, well, Io's the flashpoint this week. He's in a cave on Io. None of that anymore. It's unclear if he will have new hiding spots as well. So maybe when he's on IO, maybe he's not in that cave anymore. I don't know. But the Destiny 2, see, the thing with Destiny 1 is he was always either in the tower or the reef. Like, we knew that.
Yep.
With Destiny 2, though, he's in the world.
Yep.
And there's going to be, what, 6-7 destinations when Forsaken comes live. So
I'm assuming it'll just be the base areas, though, still, right? Because it'll be the base Destiny. I don't think they'll include Mars and Mercury if people don't have, those expansions. So, but I mean, still, that's still Io, Nessus, EDZ, Titan, the Tower. I mean, so, but dude, I miss. I was just thinking about that when we read this. I was thinking to myself, you know what I miss? I miss waking up on Friday and going to Twitter and just typing in Xur and just seeing all the people going, "Where's Xur at, dude? What's he got? What's he got? Where's he at?" And you're just watching people, like, everyone goes out there and starts trying to find Xur. I miss that. That's just it's the little things. I love waking up, looking at Twitter and trying to find out where the hell is Xur. I love that. It's just one of the things I used to like waking up to on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. And also of note, the Fated engrams will only grant pre-Forsaken exotics. So keep that in mind. Do not spend your 94 shards on a Fated engram if you already have all of the Destiny 1 exotics.
Right.
You will not get anything for your troubles. All right, Brent. A couple things you want to note in terms of getting ready for Forsaken. So specifically right now, once August 28th hits, Moments of Triumph and the Solstice of Heroes will be over. So at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, August 28th, players will no longer be able to log into Destiny 2. So at that point, the maintenance times will roll out. Maintenance will be concluded at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and at 9:30, if you're not already logged in, or really I guess 9:45 is the point where everybody's going to be taken out of the game and offline. At that point, Solstice of Heroes and Moments of Triumph will end. So if you are like me or yourself and you're out here grinding to the very last minute to finish up these objectives, please be advised that you have until 9:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on August 28th, Tuesday, to finish this stuff before it's gone. So please keep that in mind. And then on August 28th, of course, when Update 2.0 goes live, we'll get all of the weapon slot changes that we talked about and all of the weapons that are transferring element types. So things like Hawthorne Shotgun, Perfect Paradox. On August 28th, that's it, man. Those things are moving into the primary slot. Be on the lookout for that. That's going to be a huge adjustment for some of us. Brent, you use Hawthorne Shotgun all the time, so I know that that's going to be a tough pill to swallow for yourself. Just some other things to know. Obviously, the exotic collections will be unavailable for a week. Nightfall scoring unavailable for a week. Some of the tool tips when you read specific activities will not read correctly. So just be on the lookout for all of this stuff once the update hits on August 28th. And also of note, this weekend coming up will be the final weekend for Trials of the Nine. This is it before it goes on hiatus for all of Season 4. As a result of this, the trophy and achievement Lest Ye Be Judged that's tied to Trials of the Nine will also be unavailable until this activity returns at some point in the future. So if you have not unlocked this, like yours truly, and if it's something that you're interested in, this is the weekend you have to get it done. Yeah, whatever, man.
Give me some props, dude. Give me some props, bro. Give me some props.
You found somebody's coattails to hop onto and get your trophy. I'll your cookies in the mail.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, so I coattail. Yeah.
Whatever, man. All right. Also of note with the Solstice armor. So, Solstice armor can be upgraded in terms of their masterworks after Solstice of Heroes ends on August 28th. So keep that in mind. This will require players to have already upgraded to their legendary Solstice armor, since the Statue of Heroes will no longer be available to upgrade these Scorched and Rekindled sets. As a reminder, these armor sets only generate elemental orbs during Solstice of Heroes. So if you've gotten used to those elemental orbs, they will no longer be a thing once Solstice of Heroes completes. Lastly, players should also be aware that Valor ranks reset at the conclusion of Season 3. If players do not unlock their masterwork for achieving Legend in their Valor ranking by the end of Season 3, their Valor rank will be reset and they will have to begin anew in Season 4. So if you are grinding for that Valor rank reset in Season 3, make sure that you complete that prior to the end of Season 3 and the beginning of Season 4 in order for that to not get reset with Season 4. Brent, any of this stuff stand out to you? Are you prepared for the update? Are you prepared for Forsaken? Are you prepared for Hawthorne Shotgun to lose its elemental damage?
Dude,
Are you mentally ready for this?
I'm not happy about that. I'm pissed about that because Hawthorne with Void would melt Minotaurs in every single mode.
Dude, same thing with Perfect Paradox. It's a Void shotgun that just absolutely obliterates Vex Minotaurs.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I love Hawthorne's. I'll still use her, but the fact that she won't have Void damage tied to it or any kind of elemental damage is a bummer. But I mean, it'll still be lethal. It'll still be lethal, but I'm gonna have to find something else to break those shields a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you have to do before the update on Tuesday? Is there anything that you need to? Are there any elements you need to add to guns? Like, have you gone through your stuff and made sure that you're completely ready for this update on Tuesday?
You know, I haven't gone through that yet. I got to go through my vault and see which weapons I typically, when I have like a weapon, when I have a Hawthorne's like Void, I have a Hawthorne's Arc in there as well. So there are certain guns. I mean, I have extra mods sitting around where I have like extra like Void or Arc or Solar mods that I can put into weapons. It's just a matter of fact of them dropping and getting those weapons that I want to. But a lot of the stuff that I have, if I get like a certain gun and I have multiple elemental types to it, I'll store those just so I have them. But there are probably going to be a couple I'll come across and be like, oh, I don't have this one yet. I got to remember to do this because, yeah, like you said, dude, they're going to be locked. And you can never change them again. So if you don't have, multiple copies of a certain gun, make sure you have it ready to go and have the proper element on it that you want it to have. Because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. Are the mods happening with this update as well, or is that when Forsaken launches?
I believe the mods go active when Forsaken launches. Like,
okay.
The slots will be there, but you can't do anything with them.
Okay. So we will deal with all the mod stuff. Oh, yeah, it does say right here, exotic weapons will lose their +5 power mods in preparation for 9.4.
Yep.
All remaining legendary and exotic gear will lose their +5 power starting on 9.4. Gear 1 armor mods will be deprecated entirely starting on 9.4. So, yeah. So it looks like once Forsaken drops, all that stuff is off the table. But with this update, exotic weapons will be losing their +5 power mods. So be aware of that.
Yep.
All right, Brent, one final thing we want to touch on the show here today. So Bungie came out with a new video at Gamescom today, and they showed us a trailer they're calling Cade's Last Stand.
Yep.
And it's kind of our preview into Cade being a badass one last time before he meets his ultimate fate at the hands of Uldren. Now, I have not watched this trailer. I was a little worried when they were putting this event on. I thought that they might get into a lot of what happens at the beginning of Forsaken, and I kind of want to save that stuff. I've seen all I need to see of this game at this point, so I really don't want to see any more of it. So I have not watched this trailer, but I saw a lot of people talking about it. Obviously, yourself, you were excited about what you saw, but it sounds like Cade got to be a badass one last time, and we really got to see why he was the Hunter Vanguard and some of the things that he was capable of in this trailer. Many people have called this the best cinematic that Bungie's ever developed. So I'm close to pulling the trigger on watching this thing because I do want to see this, but it's only another week or so before I'll get to see this properly. And this is what they've done throughout the life of Destiny 2. They've given us, with Osiris, with Warmind, they've given us that initial cinematic trailer to get us ready for the game, the same trailer that we're going to see in game once we start it, and they've done the same thing here with Cade's Last Stand and the beginning of Forsaken. So Brent, let me get your thoughts on what we're seeing with Cade here, and the other thing that they dropped is that we get a free Gambit trial September 1st for 24 hours on Saturday, September 1st, Brent, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time for 24 hours. We are going to be able to hop into Gambit and play that mode prior to the launch of Destiny 2 Forsaken. We won't be able to earn any Gambit rewards or earn our ranks or anything like that, but we'll be able to get in there and experience Gambit firsthand for ourselves. I am incredibly excited to do that because Gambit, of all the things that are coming with Forsaken, there's a lot of really, really awesome things that are happening. Gambit is arguably the most exciting part of Forsaken once it launches on Tuesday, September 4th. So Brent, your thoughts on Cade's Last Stand and what we're going to be doing on Saturday, September 1st?
I tell you what, on Saturday we're gonna be playing Gambit, and on Sunday we're gonna be cursing Bungie for teasing us and then taking it away for 3 days. Damn you, Bungie!
Yes,
but
that will happen.
In terms of what we saw from Cade's last stand, I was talking to you prior. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. I don't want any spoilers, but I think they handled it perfectly well. I told myself what I'll do is I'll watch this, but the moment Aldrin shows up, that's I'm going to cut it off, because that's going to be whatever goes on with Aldrin and Cade. That's going to be the setup for what we're going to do, and I think that's something I want to experience by myself downstairs, watching on TV, playing it by myself, and stuff like that. But it was awesome. It was a sweet video. I mean, you got to see Cade be a badass one last time, taking on hordes of enemies, and I mean in fantastic style. Cade's got moves. You got to see him pop the golden gun. You got to see him pop the knives. I mean, you got to see him do dude, he was dominating. Much like I do in Crucible. To all you lazy ass hunters or warlocks, yeah, dude, it was a sweet.
Where's the mute button?
It was a sweet, sweet video to see Cade go out there and kick ass one last time. But I am glad that they cut back from showing us anything with Aldrin. That was going to be the thing. I was like, I don't want to see anything with Aldrin. But man, it was a sweet video, and I can't wait, dude.
And in true Hunter fashion, after he gets out in there and mixes it up with the enemies, he dies shortly afterwards, and that's just kind of what you guys do. So yeah, you hop into the group of enemies, you do some killing, and then you die and have to be resurrected. So nothing we haven't seen from Hunters before, right?
Some cool stuff in the chat here. Tipsy said, I think Cade will be back in a different exo body, Cade 7. And Lord, another Lord from the Iron Lords podcast, he has said, he goes, yeah, but the name of the new raid is suspect on Cade's future because the name of the raid is Last Wish. So that's very, very interesting. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I think Bungie's going to stick with it. I think Cade's a goner. I think he's done. I know you think he's going to come back. But I think, dude, if they want to make this stick, if they want to make this work, Cade has to stay gone. I hate saying it. I love Cade. You know, I love Cade. I think he's an awesome character. He's the best character in Destiny, arguably. I don't know, Ikora. I got a thing for Ikora. But Cade is Cade. Cade is Destiny. And I think if they want this to work, he has to stay dead. He has to stay gone.
I think, and we've talked about this, Brent, before, but we'll revisit this. I think that for Forsaken, I think that's the case. I don't think that Cade will return over the course of Forsaken. However, I do think that at some point this is all going to pass by. We're gonna have beaten Forsaken. We're gonna have beaten the raid. We're gonna have done everything there is to do in Forsaken, and we're gonna be looking at this game like, man, we really miss Cade. It'd be great to have Cade back. It'd be great to have this guy that everybody loved, the comic relief. It'd be great to have him back in some way, shape, or form. At some point, this is going to be a one of those be careful what you wish for things. Because yeah, we want Cade to stay dead and the impact and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, man, we're all gonna be like, all right, we've had enough of this. We've had our feels. We've gone through Forsaken. We've gotten our revenge on Aldrin, whatever the case may be. Now we're ready to have Cade come back at some point. Now, I wouldn't be surprised at all, Brent, if at the end of the raid, the end of Forsaken, whatever the case may be, the camera just pans in on the decimated prison of elders, and it pans down, and we see Cade's ghost sitting there in the prison of elders, and we see just a light spark or something like that, giving us hope of what the future may hold for everybody's favorite Hunter Vanguard.
Clearly, you didn't watch that trailer because that ghost got blown to all hell, dude. There is nothing going to flicker. That thing is gone. It got hit with a sniper shot and it is just completely decimated. It is gone. No flicker. Cade's not coming back. But in Destiny 2, I think it'll be like Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. It's going to be Destiny 3, The Search for Cade. And that's when we'll see Cade make a return, is in Destiny 3. But not Destiny 2. He can't go, like Lord Cognito said, it holds weight. Dark Shadow Wolf just coming in, playing spoiler and bummer. He says, Wish Ender Catalyst tied to raid, calling it. Jeez, Wolf. Come on, dude. That's not rude. I want Wish Ender right away, dude. Tie it to the raid? I don't know. That thing is a difference maker, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is tied to the raid.
We shall find out, man.
Actually, if you think about it, it says the name of the raid is Last Wish. Wish Ender. You get it at the end of the raid, Wish Ender. There it is. I figured it out.
On that note, it's definitely time to end this show.
What? I mean, that's me doing 1 + 1 is 3, dude. That's math.
Yeah.
Last Wish, Wish Ender. I mean, come on. It's gold, dude. I'm giving you gold here.
To those of you still here after that, Thank you for watching this episode of Tower Talk. We love having you guys in here. It means the world to us to see you guys in here and leave comments, participate in the chat. We love seeing all that stuff. If you like what we do here on Tower Talk, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you never miss when we do an episode. Brent, we will be back next week with our penultimate episode of Tower Talk prior to the release of Forsaken. And just to give the people a little preview of what's coming after that, we're gonna have a little pre-Forsaken show as well to get people ready for the Forsaken update. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Monday night before Forsaken, we're gonna come here live, and we might be bearing presents. We'll see.
Be bearing presents. We tease you.
I know.
So
I'm such a tease.
Tower Talk next Thursday. Our pre-Forsaken special Monday night. Make sure you guys stay tuned for all that stuff. Brent, anything else you wanna throw out in the universe before we get out of here?
Dude, I'm at level 48 for my Vanguard. Let's go knock this out so I can get one more Triumph done, and then I have one left. All I need are the layers, and that's it. 400 for me, baby.
Layers going down on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Getting the layers. So, once again, thanks to everybody for watching the show. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
See you guys.